Right then, cloud gurus, the container storage interface.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, Kubernetes didn't really do storage. And you know what? Neither did Docker either. It really was a late arrival to the container party. But it's here now and it's looking pretty good. So there's always been storage systems on the left, and then we've got the Kubernetes persistent volume subsystem on the right. The bits on the left bring the storage features like speed, availability and replication, and the bits on the right are how we consume all of that in our Kubernetes apps. And we've always needed a way to connect them. Now, before we had the CSI, the code that connected them was in tree. This means it was lumped right in there with the core Kubernetes code itself, which on the plus side meant anytime you got Kubernetes, you got all of the storage integrations for free. And if you're new to this, you might think, heck yeah, that sounds like a good deal. But you know what? It's one of those where the cons massively outweigh the pros. Because the thing is, having your storage driver code in tree means having external code inside of Kubernetes. It also means you're tied into the Kubernetes release cycle. So if you need to make a bug fix, okay, good for you. But no one's going to get it till the next Kubernetes release, which probably isn't ideal. And it also means your code has to be open source. And not every storage provider is going to be cool with that. So in-tree was a bit of a mare. But we knew that. And along the way came Flex Volumes as kind of an attempt to take the storage code out of tree. But for various reasons, right, it was never really a success. So along came the CSI. And the CSI is all about out of tree, and it's an independent open standard. So on the out of tree front, this means all of the code that hooks the external storage systems into Kubernetes gets ripped out of the core Kubernetes code and totally decoupled. Meaning, storage providers can release updates on their own schedule, and they do not have to worry about making their code open source. And as well, from a Kubernetes maintainer perspective, wow, they don't have to care about a ton of in-tree third-party code. So win-win-win. Now, the CSI is an open standard, yeah, with its own logo, of course. And I'm not going to pretend I've got a clue what it's supposed to be. If you know, answers to my Twitter account, please. But it is not Kubernetes specific. In fact, one of its goals is to allow vendors to potentially be able to write a single plugin and have it work across any container orchestrator that supports the CSI. So Kubernetes, of course, but also potentially Docker Swarm or any others if they support the CSI. Anyway, Kubernetes has an implementation of the CSI, right? So the preferred way for storage providers to write their plugins is as CSI plugins. Now, it's a bit new, right? So the CSI went into beta, I think, in Kubernetes 1.10, and it's still beta in 1.11. So pretty new, and of course we've still got a ton of in-tree volume plugins. But going forward, right, we expect the move to be very much towards the CSI. Alright then, the PVs and PVCs and stuff over here, right, which we're going to cover next, they are totally Kubernetes concepts, not the CSI, right? It's just the preferred way to integrate the third-party storage systems with them is through the CSI. And oh my goodness, does it make life easier? Certainly for storage providers and core maintainers, right? But making their lives easier means making our lives as users even better as well. I mean, in a lot of parallel universes, they don't have the CSI yet. So they're still living in trees. I hope you like what I did there. Yeah. Anyway, look, the CSI, one small step for Kubernetes, one giant leap for the Kubernetes community. Sorry, that's terrible. I think I might leave it in though, because you know what? As cheesy as it is, I am a believer. Anyway, right. Coming up next, the Kubernetes persistent volume subsystem, also known as the good stuff. I should give up, shouldn't I?